Hello and welcome to Radio OPAC. We're glad you're here. We're glad Jessica Kehn is here as well. We are a division of the Ohio Prison Arts Connection, and OPAC, Ohio Prison Arts Connection, connects people to the arts inside and outside of prison. And I'm your host today. My name is Pat Wynn Brown. I'm part of OPAC. I'm a volunteer at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. I'm a performer and a writer. We want to welcome everyone, including our friends in correctional institutions. We're bringing the DVDs into those institutions, and we are very proud to say that they have been accepted at the Ohio Reformatory for Women and the correctional institutions of Pickaway, Dayton, Marion, Grafton, Richland, Mansfield, and Trumbull. If you are connected with a prison and would like to have DVDs of these shows, we are happy to accommodate you through OPAC. Send us a message, please. Also, there's a talk back at the end with Jessica and others, and we ask you to join us for that as well. The interview is about 15 minutes long, then the talk back is about 15 and 20, and you will see the Zoom link for the talk back in the comments section. So today we welcome Jessica Kehn, who is a dancer, a fine teacher. I've enjoyed her as a teacher in ballet class. And she owns Artisan Dance Studio in Clintonville, North Columbus, Ohio, USA. She's also a volunteer performer for my Arts and Letters Society at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. And she spoke to the women about dance, and she performed with her colleagues, Kara and Janelle, and wowed them. And so then later, she began teaching a tap class. And the rest is history, and the rest is unique in that we think this was the only tap class in a prison in the world. And those tap shoes had a little bit to do with that, but Warden Bulldolf welcomed Jessica in. Jessica, we welcome you today, and how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
You are most welcome. We are very excited to have you. And I wanted to start, when you started the tap class at the prison, what motivated you to do that? And what was your reaction to the wild acceptance of the audience when you and Kara and Janelle performed for them? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I read the book Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. So that was something that just really always stuck in my head. And it was a book that just really just influenced me a lot. Yeah. And you and I had talked about it one day after class, and you had told me that you were volunteering at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. And I was like, whatever you need, I'm happy to help, if it's stuffing envelopes or anything. And then that's how that opportunity presented itself, was to perform there. So me and Janelle and Kara and Rachel got together, and we rehearsed over, I think it was several months, and put together a performance. And it was, to this day, my favorite performance I have ever done, because everyone was just so amazing and so involved and so engaged. We've never had a standing ovation 3 dances into a performance, so that was pretty awesome.
It was great. And a lot of the women had never really seen tap dancing before, particularly the young women there. Yeah. And I saw them stand up and look at your feet as if you were performing a magic act and pulling an elephant out of your ear. They were mesmerized. And then they begged Annette and said, please, would she teach? And then you did. And you have a full schedule. You run a studio. Yeah. You've got your doggies at home that you must mother, but you decided to do this work there. And why did you decide that?
I've been teaching for years in a dance studio, and it was really just a way for me to give back. So, there's the business side of what I do, but also I wanted to do something that either inspired somebody or just gave back to my community. So that was my motivation to do it.
You did, and it was a remarkable thing. We're going to see a little bit about that class at the end of this interview, so do ages, and you respect even to the prison, and you had a variety of levels. Some of the women had some dance experience, but you had a variety of levels in there. How did you approach that as a teacher?
I approached it just as I do every single class. So just making sure that we, started with the basics and the fundamentals and just moved the class at a speed that I thought was good for them to grasp the information, but also challenging them at the same time so they had something to practice during the week. But I treated them just the same as I would any class going in.
And you are a tapper. You're
Mm-hmm.
also a ballet dancer. You teach all of this. And you've been able to bring this to this population who maybe have never had any kind of class in the arts. You were also a competitive dancer. And so when you do something like that growing up, you learn certain lessons in life. And
Yeah.
what are the lessons that you learned that were coming through the lessons at ORW with the women?
So, I think, a couple things that I took from like my experience dancing and like, my upbringing in like dance class was ask questions if you have them. And then also like, just like a little like fake it till you make it. Tap dance is really forgiving. A lot of people don't know how to tap dance, and most people when they see it, they're just in awe because it's so fun. It's such a fun art form. And so like, I told all my students, I said, like if you mess up, it's fine. Like just keep smiling, keep moving. No one's going to know. No one's going to know if you messed up, during a performance. Like to this day, I still mess up or, like just like miss a sound or a step or something like that. And it's fine. Like, dance can be forgiving and it should be forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Did anyone have a little trouble getting started with it? Did you have a sense of people feeling insecure or a lack of confidence in the beginning? Would you speak to those things as a teacher where you have to really establish a sense of trust? And we know that the women in prison have experienced great trauma in their lives, and trust is something that must be earned and proven. And the women, when new people come in, really size up the person. Did you feel that? And how did you build the trust?
I didn't feel that going in. When I walked in, everyone was smiling and excited, and we got started right away with a lot of like basics. And as we progress with the class, like obviously, like the steps start to get more and more complicated. So what we tried to do is, I had myself and I also had Kara Brownrider who helped me, and she was an assistant, as well as Melanie. Both of them really helped me just make sure that everyone was grasping a combination. We don't all learn at the same rate or speed. And so just making sure that if we saw somebody who maybe wasn't quite grasping it or something that we could help them out with, we would make sure that like either we'd stop the class or like give that one-on-one attention, making sure that everyone was getting the steps and stuff like that.
Were they able to practice in between your visits? Were they able to access their shoes? And did they help each other with the routine?
Yeah, I think that they had, they tried to establish like a weekly practice session. If they didn't, they would always tell me. I would come in, they'd be like, we didn't practice this week. Like they were honest about it.
That's good.
But, especially as we got closer to like the performance and then like learning, certain dances, they were definitely like practicing a lot more.
That's good. If you're just joining us, this is Radio OPAC, and we're a division of the Ohio Prison Arts Connection. Our guest today is Jessica Kehn. She's a dance teacher and a terrific dancer, and she conducted a performance and also a tap class at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. And we're going to see more about that covered by television. It was covered by newspaper as well, because it is the only tap class in the world in a prison. So we were talking to Warden Baldoff the other day, who is into the arts and rehabilitation, as is Annette Dominguez, director of the Tapestry program, which has ended, but we have great hopes of its return someday. So when we were talking to the warden, she pulled something out from under her desk. What were those things?
Her tap shoes.
She had her tap shoes under her desk because she took the first class, didn't she?
Yeah.
And how did she do?
She did great. She did great.
she's a busy woman, so she had a lot to do. But had she had tap in her background? I forgot to ask if she had any dance at all.
You know, I don't think she had tap before.
Okay. But I like that Annette Dominguez stayed with the class, the director of Tapestry, and performed with the women. And you performed for us. And tell us a little bit about that performance day with Kara and Janelle and you. And what were the numbers that you performed? Just a couple of the examples of the songs.
Yeah, so we did one of the main dances that we worked on. It was a song called "Move Together." So we did that, and then we did another one. It's called "I'll Be There for You" by Jess Glynn. And then we did another one, "Ain't No Mountain High Enough." So we did three dances all together as a group.
And how many classes had they had? Was it 12 classes?
I think they had 12 classes at that point.
12 classes. And I understand from our conversations that you would like to return when we're allowed to go back into the
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was such a great experience. I really enjoyed teaching that class.
Well, they loved it, and it was a remarkable performance. And so as we're moving forward, we're thinking of new ways to get the arts into the prison. And you and I were just talking about possible performance on DVD or classes on DVD, which is difficult with dance, or other plans that we've been discussing that you are willing to do. And there are other artists in the community who want to be able to come into the prisons, and it takes some orientation to do that and preparation. And of course you need to be vetted and all of that. But I think, Jessica, you would agree that it's a rewarding experience. And how has it affected you?
That was such an incredible experience. And like, it made me feel just so personally fulfilled in doing that. You know, like I had my opportunity to really, like give back and do something that wasn't just like so focused on me, like I run a business, and, like right now I just have like dogs. And so I felt like very internally focused, and that class just made me like open my eyes to just communities that I don't always think about. And so it was just such an amazing experience to be able to go in and teach.
Well, we're grateful to you, and so are the ladies. And we're going to see a TV piece that was done in the Cleveland, Akron, Canton area with WKYC TV. It's a wonderful piece about the class. And I want to remind everyone that we have the talkback coming on right after this. The link is in the comments section, so you can get to that. And our guest next week will be Richard Duarte Brown, who works with at-risk children. So make a note on your calendar. But no, these are archived, if you can't watch live, on YouTube, Ohio Prison Arts Connection. So Jesse, in the control room, let's roll that tape and see the ladies and Jessica in action.
Everything outside of these gates that I had.
When you think of prison,
it's been stripped away from me. It was so precious.
This might be what you imagine. But here, inside the walls of the Ohio Reformatory of Women, there's a program taking inmates to a different place.
All right, ready? 5, 6, 4, here we go, and 1.
Allowing them the freedom to step into new lives,
Ready, and
leaving behind their old ones.
You're sharing something that's so meaningful, so it really connects us as not only sisters, but just as women.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A tap dance class with 15 women.
Oh, I didn't know we'd go right into it.
Part of the prison's therapeutic tapestry community. They were randomly picked, and they meet every Friday for 90 minutes. The shoes they lace up, the boards they stomp on, donated.
Shuffles, here we go.
Thanks to this woman,
2,
their teacher,
3,
Jessica
4,
Kehn.
good.
I got a group of my friends together and we did like a small tap performance here, and then they asked us to come back and like do a tap class. So that's how we got started.
And 1, 2.
Kehn says she watched her students blossom.
When in doubt, just smile. No one will know that you're doing the wrong step, right?
So like that was such a wonderful progression to see from like that first class where, everyone's like really stiff and looking down to like they're just grooving.
Their dedication touching Warden Terry Baldoff.
It makes them feel valuable and recognize that mistakes happen, and that's why they're here. But beyond that, think big, dream big, and sometimes we can make it happen.
We got it.
In this tapping community,
16, okay.
everyone has a story.
February will be 7 years. I had various trafficking charges. It was all regarding around my drug issue.
Stephanie has 5 months left on the inside.
I'm overjoyed. I'm so ready to get back to my kids, and yeah, I'm ready.
But much like dance, learning life lessons takes time and hard work from the tip of their toes
That's a long ending tonight.
to the deepest part of their souls.
You're all finished.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
These women
Awesome, awesome work.
now look forward to a different rhythm
Bye, guys. Thank you.
on the outside.
You guys are so good.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
That was marvelous. Jessica, thank you for your happy feet. Thank you for loving your community. And I know that the women of ORW would want me to thank you as well for that experience that I know that they will remember the rest of their lives. I will. I'll remember it too. And someday we'll meet again at the old ORW, and we'll be there.
Yes.
Everyone, please join us for the talk back. We'll be there very soon. Just click on the link, the Zoom link in the comment section, and we'll see you then. And we'll see you next week on Radio OPAC. Thank you. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.